a lot of students have just gotten another sense of how to belong and how to create relationships outside of what were the traditional avenues.
And a lot of my students talk about how they feel safe in the esports program, and that's their family, that's their community. And I think that esports gives kids a future that they might otherwise not have.
Man, I wish that had been available when I was in high school.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Massachusetts State Rocket League Grand Final presented by PlayVS. I am your host, Perino. I am joined today by the lovely Declan Murphy coming to us live from London. How are you doing?
Both these teams are really looking forward to watching some Massachusetts action. Both these teams have really worked hard to get where they are, so really looking forward to seeing what they can deliver on.
Yes, those two schools we have coming at you today are Shrewsbury Senior High School. They are coming in with an undefeated record, 4-0 through the regular season, 12-0 in their games. However, in their path will be Southwick Regional School, coming to try and, making sure not only to upset that perfect record, but try and take down the title for themselves. So a very intriguing matchup.
Yeah, definitely. We've had Shrewsbury who've come out on top all the way through the regular season into our finals, as it were. So they're going to be going up against Southwick as well. Southwick themselves didn't have the best regular season. However, they have really turned it around when it's push has come to shove in this playoff bracket. So it's going to be really exciting now. They can continue that momentum and really bring it up against Shrewsbury. Like who you said, are yet to not only concede a series, but a game.
Yes, and to touch on Southwick a little bit as well, you mentioned it. They're a little bit of a Cinderella story for us here. You know, they didn't come in as the highest seed. They came in finishing the regular season in that 4th spot. However, the playoff matchup certainly worked in their favor, and they've gotten now to the grand final, so credit to them. They've gotten it this far, but can they go all the way? This will obviously be the most difficult test. Shrewsbury are not going to want to give them an inch.
Absolutely, and when you look at the players that Shrewsbury are bringing to the table as well, it's no surprise that they've had such an impact. We have Luster, who's been averaging 9.3 goals per series, which is insane to me. That's a hat trick and a bit every game that man's been able to accomplish. So it's really going to be an uphill battle, even with Southwick's turnaround, as it were, in the playoffs stage of this tournament. So it's going to be really interesting just seeing if they are able to make a big impact here, and if they are able to put the pressure on early and really bring it to Shrewsbury.
Yes, should be so incredibly exciting. I love watching these series. I love, getting to see these players on the big stage, on the broadcast, seeing what they can do, right? Because this is the culmination of all the effort you've put in through the season, and you love to see these young players being able to excel at a high level.
Yeah, it is a really great platform for, these players, right? PlayVS of giving these kids an opportunity to go head-to-head across their entire state. And now we're seeing, like you said, the culmination of that. All that hard work, determination, practice, all those games, they all amount to this.
Yes, they absolutely do. We are almost ready to go here. We do have a lobby set up. We're just making sure everything is good on the technical side. And before we jump in, Murphy, I want to talk a little bit about the game itself, because we might have a newer audience here. We may have some people watching who aren't quite as familiar with the game as perhaps we are. So if you could break it down from taking it, very step back, give me your best, condensed version. What is Rocket League?
Right, so Rocket League, you take cars that go very fast when they want to. You take acrobatics, and then you mix it with a little thing called, we call it football. You guys call it soccer. So when you mix those things together, this is what you get. You get Rocket League. 3 versus 3, 2 teams going at it, orange versus blue, and it's whoever can score the most goals in 5 minutes.
Yes, it's very simple in concept, but the one thing that I truly, truly love about this game is, for such a simple idea, there is so much underneath that goes on in terms of player skill and technical ability and tactics, and we'll see that, in this grand final here. We have 2 great teams, so we'll see some of that, and we'll, catch you up to speed as we're going along. But I love how simple on the surface it can be, and then the depth behind it really gives a whole level of Amazing action.
Easy to learn, hard to master, I think is the way you'd summarize it. Anyone can watch it, understand instantly what's going on. Anyone can jump in the server themselves and play it. But in order to master it, there's so many little mechanics that you can delve into to really perfect how you can play this game.
Well, we will see how you can perfect playing this game here. Game number 1 coming at you right here on PlayVS. This is a best-of-7 series. It will be the first to take 4 games. Game 1, always critical, and away we go.
Yeah, absolutely. It isn't just whoever can win in this first 5 minutes. You have at least 35 minutes to go through if you're going to bring it to 7 games. As we see now, both teams going a little bit back and forth. Just feeling each other out as they normally do in this first game. You will find that normally things are a little bit more tense as both teams get acclimatized to each other.
Yeah, so we can see a nice little save there coming out early for this Shrewsbury side. Obviously, you have to play good defense to maintain the record that they have. But here comes Gerard on the ball, looking to get the flip reset. He does find it. He manages to get over 1, but it's turned aside by Trevor. He had to get up high on that backboard, make that save. That is a great piece of skill, but it's just not enough for the goal.
Yeah, it's lovely. You want to see that coming out nice and early if you are the Southwick side going in the underdog to this series. So they'll give a little bit of confidence now going forward. You know, they are able to get through that defense. If they can put the final touch on the next play, maybe they'll be able to lead into a goal.
It may perhaps, as Brownie will clear that one all the way into the corner, turned aside by Ski. Gerard looking towards the middle, trying to find that avenue of attack, but nothing going yet. Both teams have had decent looks on target so far, but nobody able to score. So far it has been the defense to prevail. But these games are very quick and they can turn on their head in just a flash.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking a little bit about Gerard, he's going to be the one that we want to be watching here as they go forward. The man's been able to get 6 goals per series up to this point in the tournament. So going forward, he's going to be the one that's going to be the difference maker if this Southwick team want to pull ahead.
As we get Trevor now on the ball, trying to follow it up on himself. He has a double touch opportunity, but that's going to be clanged off the floor. No goal there. Another pass in is turned aside. Now on the counterattack, here comes Southwick. Joey on the ball is denied by Ski, which will alleviate some of the pressure that Southwick provided. Oh, and a great pass into the middle. Trevor capitalizes. It's 1-0 Shrewsbury.
Yeah, there we go. Ski, he's had the most assists for his team in the regular season, and we can see why there. Lovely little touch to bring it over the last defender into the path of Trevor, and all Trevor has to do is touch it. 1-0 Shrewsbury.
There is nothing better as a striker coming in front of the net, that ball bouncing in front of your car, nothing standing between you and the goal. That's about as clean of a chance as it gets. As Shrewsbury looking to press the attack once more.
Yeah, well, it was actually Southwick who I thought going into the early period of this game were in more control. If you can't convert that control into goals, it's all for nothing. As we see now, Shrewsbury are adding on the pressure. Another little pinch across, no one's there to get the touch on it this time though.
Nothing going there as Brownie going for an ambitious touch. It'll actually drop right into the middle. Oh, but that shot from Gerard is turned aside. That nearly could have been the equalizer there for Southwick. An attempt deep from Shrewsbury will be denied, and back again we go. Gerard taking that 50-50 in the midfield, trying to get the ball into the middle. Can't quite make the connection. Unbelievably close as Ski will pop that one in. A dangerous ball to the middle, and that shot wide from Raleigh. The follow-up from Trevor is good. Shrewsbury High School turning that play right around. A great touchdown, a great touch across, and a great goal in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing now why they went undefeated in the tournament up to this point. Absolutely commanding performance the last minute now as they take a 2-0 lead. And whereas with a 1-0 lead, you can sort of bring it back even down to the last second, but 2-0 now, you're really going to have to start turning things around if you want to give your team a chance going into the latter stages of this first game.
Yes, that goal difference. All the difference in the world here. As now Southwick are going to have to do well to try and break this pressure. Shrewsbury have done a very good job of keeping this Southwick squad backed into their own corner of the field. They haven't really been able to generate much offense through the end of this game, and if you're Shrewsbury, that's exactly what you're hoping. as now Gerard does manage to get it by 2, but won't have much boost to follow. Joey trying to make a contest in the corner, but it's no good. Riley puts it out into the middle, and that's a pass over to Ski, whose shot is just a little bit wide. Trevor can't find the follow-up, but Ski once again will elect to take control. That one turned aside. End-to-end stuff at the end of this game. Who's going to score?
Well, it's certainly not like the previous 2 minutes now. It seems a lot more even. End-to-end stuff. And Southwick now, they only have 20 seconds left, so they need to make a break now. Unless it looks like we're going to be seeing Shrewsbury taking this first map. And as we can see, they're just playing interference now. They're happy to just play this in the midfield, just put weak touches towards the net and just wind the clock down. Oh, well, there we go. Shrewsbury managed to find the third, and that looks like we are going game 1 in the way of Shrewsbury.
Yes, you can see how that touch just bouncing straight into the middle, and if you give Riley that kind of time and that sort of angle in front of the net, that is a goal nearly every time. Shrewsbury with a commanding 3-0 lead here. This one all but done and dusted. As we'll see the final attempt there. Riley turns it aside, and once that ball touches the ground, it will be game over. Ski elects to keep it alive, trying to get one more goal. But ultimately it drops on the floor. GG's in the chat, but a game 1 victory to Shrewsbury.
Yeah, nothing too surprising there. Shrewsbury, first couple minutes was a lot more even, but as we started to move into the mid game, as we started moving into the late game, Shrewsbury started to show us that talent that we know they have. It came up 2-0, and then they were willing to let the Southwick side come out of the box a little bit more, just to really just give them a little bit more control in the midfield, not putting the pressure on too much, and that's all they needed to do. They're just putting weak touches into the Southwick half, I should say. And in the end, it resulted in even a third goal. So it really is the talent coming out on the side of the Shrewsbury, at least in the early stages of this series.
The one thing I really noticed with Shrewsbury that I liked was their rotations too, right? It felt very even, very quick across the board as we get right back underway here in game 2. Shrewsbury looking to build upon their success in game 1. Southwick looking to find the answers as we see Gerard getting a 50-50 out in front of the net into the corner. This one will actually drop back down, but Joey not able to jump in front of it in time. Riley for Shrewsbury will just tap that one down. Ski takes the credit, and it's the opening goal for Shrewsbury.
Riley does all the credit, but it's the assist master himself, Ski, who decides he's going to have the goal this time. Just putting it over the line there. That was a lovely touch, though, to set that goal up. Credit where it's due. Shrewsbury putting the pressure on a lot earlier than they did in the first game. That could be a sign of things to come here if Southwick don't start turning this one around.
Already dangerous territory for Southwick. We know how lethal this Shrewsbury squad is. As well, they're going to try and turn around right away. Gerard trying to get some work done in the corner, but ultimately has to retreat. No boost left in the tank as Riley gets it by Joey. Oh, and that's a great touch in from Ski. The assist master on a goal-scoring spree. Getting that touch again from Riley out of the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Riley there, another brilliant assist, another brilliant touch. He loves playing around with the corner there, and it seems like at the moment that Southwick don't really have the answer to his assertiveness up that end of the field.
It is always difficult to deal with a team that you know is talented. They've done well to this point. As Gerard makes a great save there, pushing that ball all the way back into the midfield, but allow Trevor to pass over to Ski. That shot has to be turned again by Gerard as Ski continues to apply the pressure. Trevor once more into the middle, and finally Southwick a little bit of breathing room as they clear away the onslaught of pressure. Brownie nearly got it by both, does collect the demolition, and that's the last man down. Gerard picks it up, and there's your answer for Southwick.
Yeah, it's taken them 6 minutes, 13 seconds to put the first one on the board in this series, but Gerard, he's been the one to watch for his team so far, I'd say. He's proven to us why there. Now, that's very good. Southwick needed that. They need to be in touching distance here of Shrewsbury as we get into the later stages of this game if they want to take any semblance of a chance of taking the second game.
Oh, and you can see Trevor on the flip reset, and he gets the dunk. It was initially turned aside, but a great individual piece of skill from Trevor will result in the goal for Shrewsbury.
So to just explain to maybe some of the newer viewers what just happened there, normally when you jump off the ground in Rocket League, you have 2 jumps, but you can also jump off the ball. So if all 4 of your wheels touch the ball, that counts as what we call a reset. So you have reset your jump count. As Shrewsbury put the 4th one in the net there. Showing that they have it all. Close, near, far, wherever they are. Putting it in the back of the net.
Yes, it has been the Shrewsbury show here in game number 2. And the one thing with scoring a goal like that, you know, coming up from Trevor for that 3rd one. Oh, goodness.
Oh.
I thought he was about to get another right as I was saying it. Excuse me. All right, so he does score again. That is his hat trick. What I was trying to say was that it gives you a much, you know, needed confidence boost when you score a goal like that, and you can see the result. Trevor just absolutely on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw him try and go for the cheeky little touch there to sort of put the ball a little bit lower and into the net. And we see a lot more of that now coming out from Shrewsbury as they're building up this commanding position. There is still 3 minutes left. However, with a 4-goal lead and the domination we've seen so far, things are looking very, very bleak for the Southwick side. A little bit of bump action coming out there. Riley's going to be forced off, but he's going to still play interference until Trevor comes up. Riley will try and take it forward. However, he's going to be interrupted again. Shrewsbury here definitely looking for the 6th. Probably even more after that. They know there's goals to be had.
Well, you don't want to stop scoring. The issue with this game is that things can turn so quickly. Even 4-goal lead, it sounds like it's immense, but we've definitely seen crazy comebacks in general and even here on this stage in Play Versus. So you want to continue to try and score while you have the lead. Certainly no reason to step off the gas just yet with just over 2 minutes to play.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Riley go up, gets a touch off the wheels. It's not enough. Gerard is able to pick up the save. Won't be able to get much more of that as Ski's there to try and reassert control, but Gerard again. Feels like he's picking his team up by the scruff of the neck to try and get them up the field sometimes. Definitely a talented man as he tries to go for the aerial, not quite. It's fine, he'll be able to rotate back. Now it's Shrewsbury's time to attack once again.
And I have to give Gerard a bunch of credit as well, just for making the adjustment to make these challenges so early and so far up the pitch. He's allowing his teammates the space to recover and not worry so much on defense, but this could be problematic now as Riley does manage to get it by Gerard. We'll set this up for Trevor, who puts that one into the middle. It's turned aside. That's a big booming clearance, and there may just be an open shot. Brownie's in the sky and putting it through. That's Southwick with 2.
Yeah, as we saw that 2 of the Shrewsbury players went for the ball at the same time, and although it looked like they were trying to almost pinch the ball off of each other, it was an overcommitment, and that was proven by the fact that Southwick were able to take the ball and go straight down the other end and score. And now with a minute 22, it's only a 3-goal deficit, something that's very, well, I wouldn't say very likely to come back from, but it's certainly not out the realm of possibility at this stage of the game.
No, it is absolutely not. We'll see how Shrewsbury elect to go about this. They do have the option of playing a little more conservative, but that is not a conservative player right there. Ski goes for the demo and tries to set up his team for another. Joey ultimately finding the clearance aside.
Ski now will go ahead.
Right through the middle, dribbling himself. Almost finds the individual effort, but not quite. Southwick need to get something quickly. They're running out of time. 40 seconds left to play. Down by 3. It is not looking good. As Riley just puts that one right into the bottom corner, all past all 3 defenders. It's a beautifully angled shot straight into that back post, and that should be just about it for game 2.
It's not necessarily always the most flamboyant or flashy goal you'll see, but goals from that angle, they take a lot of precision. You need to know the exact angle you're coming in at to hit the ball and put the ball on net, and he did there, and it's resulted in a 6th goal for his team. Oh, what a lovely goal that is. Once again, we just see the precision coming through, knowing exactly how you need to hit that ball to get it down in such a small angle. You really didn't have a lot there. It's almost predicting where it's going to come off the ball and meet him for the 2nd time after it's come off the ball.
Yes, and you could see, I believe it was Joey there for Southwick, trying to get into that top corner to prevent that goal, but such a tight angle finish. Very, very difficult to stop once it's set up. As Shrewsbury now, they're just padding the scoreline. Ski, 8 goals for Shrewsbury here. They're having some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely, and why not? The game is definitely at this point out of the touching distance of Southwick. And there's 15 seconds left. I think it's pretty much impossible for them to secure 6 goals here. I think it's almost an early game break for them. Just talk about what happened in this one. How do they make sure it doesn't happen going into the next?
Well, there will be plenty of questions to be had as this one will touch the floor, concluding game number 2 here. It is 2-0 for Shrewsbury, and you have to say it's the individual excellence coming out in this game. Really, we saw plenty of fantastic goals from all 3 players on the Shrewsbury squad, each demonstrating their own individual ability.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Riley, and while I was looking at his stats beforehand, he's definitely proven himself to be a talisman of this team, right? He's coming out, he's being able to score some goals, he's doing some brilliant setups as well. Ski as well. We saw both Ski and Trevor very active in that game, working off each other, setting each other up, scoring goals, even if maybe you are stealing them off your teammate on the line. But who's going to complain? If it's in the net, that's all that counts at the end of it.
Yes, we call that an insurance touch. You know, you have to make sure that the ball goes across the line, no matter what. If it's there, you score it every single time.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the ones that you definitely get a little bit of grief and all chat for if you did it in matchmaking.
But hey, it's not who scores the goals, right? All that matters at this point is that it's your team scoring. It is a team game after all, and that's really what I think is shining for Shrewsbury here, is that they're getting all 3 members of their team involved on offense and on defense. We saw, as we mentioned, the great individual goal from Riley. Trevor had that flip reset dunk that went in. So definitely, all 3 members being a contributing factor here for Shrewsbury. And I think, that's what's allowed them to win so many of these games so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at what Southwick have got to do now, going into this next one, they need to just assess what Shrewsbury are doing, where their weaknesses in the armor are, and make sure that they're not allowing them to be exploited so much by Shrewsbury. Shrewsbury, although they seem very good going forward, they have seemed a little bit iffy at the back. So maybe if Southwick are able to pile on the pressure a little bit more, put together some better rotations and put the pressure on, there's nothing to say that they can't at least put a couple goals on the board and maybe even walk away with a game.
Well, we shall see how Southwick intends on scoring more goals here. Game 3, just starting out as Brownie goes for the musty flick. It's a little bit adventurous, but not quite the shot that Southwick are looking for, as this will be centered in the middle, cleared aside by Trevor.
Trevor up now, looking for his teammate. That connection, we know it's already quite prevalent in their plays, as we saw in the first 2 games of this series. The 3rd man, Riley, now will rotate in, but he'll be quick to rotate back as they've not really been able to secure possession. That being said, though, Trevor's there, open net, courtesy of the demo, but it's not going to be able to mount to much.
No, and you can see Trevor just running out of boost there. You can see how much boost each player has in that bottom right corner of your screen. And, well, when you don't have it, it can be tough to get behind the ball, as we see Gerard with nearly a full tank of boost, working that ball all the way downfield against the backboard, but denied by Riley.
Yeah, Riley coming up now, bring the ball forward for his team, and Ski's there to complement him. Trevor, though, sees there was a possibility of pressure coming out from Southwick and reads it well.
Yes, no goals so far in this game through the first 90 seconds.
A lot more reminiscent of the first game than the second one, definitely. We've seen both teams a little bit more quiet now. Maybe Southwick just being a little bit more adventurous in what they're doing, getting forward a lot more, I think, at least this game, than they have in the previous ones, which is a good sign for them. Still
Yes,
3 minutes left for them to do something with it.
As you can see, a bit of a physical tussle on the wall there with Joey, and that's something we haven't really seen yet either from these teams in any large capacity, is going for those bumps and demolitions, right? It can be a great way of knocking your opponents off the spot, taking them away from the game, and we haven't seen that yet, and that could be an avenue Southwick elects to take to try and get themselves back in it.
Yeah, absolutely. That demo gives you a couple seconds of a 2 versus 3, maybe even a 1 versus 3 situation, which can be crucial for finding any breaks that you can possibly exploit and gain a goal from.
And if you're Southwick, you'll be looking for every advantage you can find as Gerard does get the touch, but is demolished by Trevor. Allows Shrewsbury now to attempt to break out, but good on Brownie there, finding that last touch. Oh, this is awkward. That one has to be turned aside by Trevor, and Joey's just going to try and keep that pressure in the middle. Southwick doing a good job of staying high up the field, trying to get good shots on target.
Yep, Trevor, in the regular season, was the man at the back for his side. He managed to clock in 4.3 saves per series. It's easy to see why. He's seen a couple opportunities now that have been snuffed out by him on the Southwick side. They've just not been able to put the finishing touch on because Trevor's been there with the interruption.
It does seem, watching it so far, that Shrewsbury have had the anticipation on defense, as that's a great attempt there, denied by Brownie and Riley. Very fortunate to clear that ball aside and not have an opposing touch come through. But of course, Shrewsbury will take it. Had a chance at one end, nearly concede on the other. But here we go, Joey. His shot is just a little bit wide. A follow-up touch also wide. Southwick are so close here, but can't find the back of the net.
This is a lot better coming out from the Southwick side than we've seen from them so far. Only a minute left and nothing on the clock. There's nothing to stop them here taking a W in this third game. A lot of mounting pressure, and if they can make it into something more malleable, into a couple great chances, potentially a goal, then they could be looking at 1-0. Not quite though, as we see Gerard with a shot just off target.
Oh, and just on the counter-attack, so lethal, so pure, Shrewsbury High School. They finally get their one good opening. Riley down to Trevor, and there's nothing the defender can do there. Beautiful passing play from Shrewsbury as they take the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. You are only 3 versus 3. You only have 3 bodies on the field at once. If you overcommit to any of those bodies going forward, well, you're going to get punished at the back, and that's exactly what we saw there. All that hard work from Southwick with their building pressure, it's now amounted to nothing except a Shrewsbury goal from where they've been too overcommit or going up. With only 30 seconds now, Southwick, it's do or die time in this third one. Although that could be the nail in the coffin.
It certainly could be the last meaningful touch of this game, as, well, Ski will just pass that right into Riley. Nobody home there on defense. Of course, Southwick trying to get themselves back into this game, down a goal, need to be aggressive. They're just a little bit caught out there in that spot.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still plenty, well, I wouldn't say plenty of time, but there is still definitely time for Southwick to mount a comeback here. With them only mounting 1 goal in 3 games, it's not looking very likely.
We get the last final seconds of this game. Joey's going to try and put one last pass in the middle. Gerard over to Brownie. It's a shot on target, but it's saved by Trevor. That will be the end of this game. No comeback here for Southwick game 3. If they're going to do it, they're going to have to go all the way for a reverse sweep, as the consolation nearly comes out, but not quite. Shrewsbury take game 3-0.
Yep, absolutely. Now that's the third one on the trot for the Shrewsbury side, and this is where the best of 7 becomes more crucial, right? There's only one more game Shrewsbury need to win in order for them to walk away with this series. If Southwick don't win the next 3, they're not going to be able to tie up the series, they're not going to be able to bring it to a game 7. But in order to win, Southwick now need to win all 4 remaining games.
It is certainly a monumental task here against the Shrewsbury squad, who really have been playing well throughout this entire series. I think it'd be difficult to pick against them at this point. Truly, they've demonstrated the defense, they've demonstrated the offense. I think they've shown everything that they've got here, but you still have to play the game. It's not given to you just yet. Game 4 here. Already Shrewsbury match point. We'll see if they can take it down.
Yep, it's only 5 minutes of fire needed from Shrewsbury. There's going to be 20 minutes of toil required from the Southwick side if they want to bring themselves back into this game.
Yes, here we go. Riley looking to set himself up. We'll put a shot on target, but it's pretty soft. That's an easy save for Brownie. Ski, though, already in the air. Looking to stop those transitions as Trevor does put it off his own backboard. It's a bit of a dangerous touch, but it will be all the way out for Riley as we trade possession here midfield. Ski, his clearance is denied as Gerard tries to go through and contest, but Trevor's so quick. lightning fast this Shrewsbury team are. And you can see how problematic it is for Southwick to deal with.
Absolutely. Trevor just being a nuisance there and being able to sustain that pressure a little bit better for his team. And ultimately, I think that's what Shrewsbury will be comfortable with right now. They've shown in the last game that they're comfortable with games going a little bit later in order to pick up the win.
Louis Gerard nearly had a chance for himself there, but that is a difficult angle to score from.
Absolutely. As they're forced to get back. Southwick, they're almost conceding, caught out of rotation. You see Trevor go down, and what a lovely shot that is.
Beautiful, beautiful finesse from Trevor here. We'll see on the replay just the control to get up over the top of that ball, just under the crossbar. That is a great opening goal for Shrewsbury, and it certainly puts them in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, absolutely. A much earlier impact than we saw in the last game. As the bad news continues here for Southwick. This could be the fairy tale story over as Riley puts the second one in now. Still 3 minutes 23 in the clock, but this is brilliant early stuff coming out from the Shrewsbury side. Nothing less we expect of our 12-0 team.
And Riley seems to be the one on this, on the Shrewsbury squad here that really finds those difficult angles. I don't want to understate it. That is not an easy angle to score from. You need to just put that ball into the back post like that. You saw it from Riley. It's a great individual touch. It may not look like much, but believe me, it's much more difficult than it looks.
Absolutely. It's not so much just hitting the ball, except knowing when to hit it and how to hit it. As you go around with the car, each different area of the car actually puts different amounts of power on the ball as well. So you've got to think about angle, timing, and area of the ball that you're hitting with your car.
It's like we're taking a course from our AP calculus here, trying to figure out the velocity and the angle of attack. As away we go still. Southwick looking to pick up possession in the midfield. Joey can't quite turn around on it though. It's going to force Brownie all the way back, and Gerard will pick up the boost and the ball. Not able to get it by Trevor though. You can see Brownie looking to make that pass over to Gerard, who just can't quite find the connection in the corner. And still it is Shrewsbury. They are very comfortable in this spot here. Up 2 goals with 2 minutes to play. You got to think that they're cruising right along so far.
Yep, absolutely. 2 minutes on the clock. Flat Joey's going to have to get back now. Riley nearly gets a touch. Trevor just lifts it over. Doesn't need the power, just chips it over. Both defenders unable to do anything about it there. Riley's first shot's blocked, but it's not enough. As you can see there, 2 defenders committed to that first shot as well, which means you are down when it comes to that secondary shot unless you put in a good play.
And you can see the hesitation that Ski was able to create there when it looks like he's going to touch the ball and then he fakes the touch and waits in the corner. It sort of just allows the defense to give him that much time and space, and when that happens, you build up all that pressure. It results in the goal for Shrewsbury. And it's really just excellent overall team play from Shrewsbury here. You have to say they've performed really well to this point. 90 seconds to close us out. 3 goals up. Looking very, very comfortable.
Yeah, and I think the definitive fact that between a good team and a great team here is just the team play. Right? We've seen Shrewsbury put together so many touches to each other, so many opportunities that they're willing to create for each other. And when they're breaking forward, they know exactly what their role is when they get up the field.
As we can see, a big booming clearance in the midfield is denied by Trevor. He will continue to stay with the ball and try and pass it over to Ski, who can't quite get it past the last defender. Still, it is all Shrewsbury here with 45 seconds left. They have all the pressure and all the time with that lead. Sort of playing ping pong across the net. As Ski will try and pass it over to Riley, who nearly puts the 4th one in. It's going to be a little bit wide. If Southwick are to come back in this game, they absolutely need something right here, right now, but it is looking less and less likely. Ski will actually deny a touch from his own teammate.
It's that stage where You know, you just got to see the timeout, so why not have a little bit of fun with it? Riley once again trying to put in his own net. But won't be able to. That is it. Shrewsbury are going to be your champions, taking it clean 4-0, similar to their actual series scoreline in the regular season, going undefeated, and rightfully so.
Yes, you could see just how good this team was. Certainly a deserved victor here. Congratulations to Shrewsbury High School. They are your Massachusetts state champions. And yeah, I have to say it was a very complete performance. They played well on defense. They challenged well in the midfield. They found some great goals on offense. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Absolutely. You had great individual talent, and when you put those talents together, they showed they were really eager and able to chain together plays as well. I think the key to their success there was just their ability to, just their map awareness, right? Knowing where not only their opponents were, but where they were each other. So many passing plays there, so many little bits of individual skill that maybe not led to individual goals, but definitely led to an overwhelming team composition.
And that comes from playing together and having trust as well, right? You know, when you are working together with a team, you know, these are people who go to your school, you see them in class every day or on your Zoom calls every day, you know, where this is a, you know, it's an element of trust built in, and you have that player-to-player connection. You could see it coming out there for Shrewsbury, you know, really a great job across the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely. And take nothing away from Southwick either. They've definitely shown themselves to be a force to be reckoned with after their turnaround performance in the semi-finals. But Shrewsbury, they were too much to handle today. Rightful champions and just all round. There's not, when I look at the stats even, it's not like there's one individual player here that's really walked away with it for them. It's been a team effort through and through, and it's really well deserved.
Yes, it's always nice when you have that level of talent at one school, right? It can be difficult to find and build up players, you know, from, you know, a very local area. You know, when we look at the highest level, not just in Rocket League, but in esports in general, you know, typically players come from all over one region or even all over the world to play together. And so being able to find that level of chemistry and ability at one local school in one area, I think is really wonderful to see. And yeah, Shrewsbury, they had all going on today.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a third season in PlayVS for Riley as well there. And I'm not sure if it's his first time lifting the title, but he certainly made a great impact. He'd be happy to at least be winning in his 12th grade as well, so this will be the final series he's in, or season he's in. So a brilliant way to exit the league there.
Yes, and I believe we will be hearing from Riley shortly, trying to get them in the call here and, you know, get some insight as to how it all went down. But yes, this is a Shrewsbury school that traditionally has been very, very dominant here on PlayVS. I've seen them a couple times already. They've I believe they won in the fall of 2019 as well. I think they were in another final as well. So this is a program that, you know, has been built on the back of some great players, and you can just see the results. I mean, it's hard for me to give much more insight than what you saw directly on the pitch there. It's, you know, they're just a very, very good team.
Yeah, it's hard to add much else to what you've just said there. They really are just brilliant at being able to communicate with each other, each of them knowing their part to play. When you bring all those parts together, well, you result with your PlayVS Massachusetts champions for spring 2020.
And yes, I believe we do have Riley on the call now. Riley, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
We're doing very well, thank you. First of all, congratulations, right? That was a great series from you guys, going through the perfect record there. Yeah, how'd you find the experience in the final?
It was awesome. You know, it's just great to get out there with my teammates again, because I'm a senior, so it's my last time playing with them. So it's just good to go out there and get that win.
Awesome. Riley, congratulations on the win. I just wanted to quickly ask about that team play we saw. How many hours per week do you reckon you and your teammates are putting in order to perfect that performance?
It depends on, like, the week and, like, different players, but it can range anywhere from, like, 20 to, like, 60 or even higher maybe, especially with all the free time people have now.
Absolutely. And are these the teammates that you'd be playing with outside of just practice as well, or is this very much just a team thing and not so much a social thing?
No, we're friends outside of like this team and school, but we'll play ranked with each other on occasion and stuff, just to keep warmed up and stuff for games.
I want to ask about your participation with PlayVS at your school as well. Can you give me any insight as to what your experience has been so far? I know this is not your first season here with us on PlayVS, and it will be your last. So can you just give us a little bit of oversight? At Shrewsbury, how do you guys get your program together and get everyone working that well on the pitch?
It's been awesome. Shout out to Coach McKidstry. He's the one that organized the esports at Shrewsbury High School. So we all just kind of came together and had a meeting and decided that we were going to have a League of Legends and a Rocket League team. And PlayVS was just worked out that way for them to be the ones that hosted it. So it worked out well for us, and I've been super lucky to be able to play esports in high school.
It's certainly a common sentiment from those of us older folk here. I wish this had been something I could have done in high school. It seems like so much fun because there's an element of representation for your school, right, that you don't normally get. And I think that's absolutely awesome to have that experience. Murphy, you have anything else for our man Riley here?
Riley, before you go, is there any shout-outs you want to give?
Just shout outs to my teammates, my family. They're super supportive of me for esports, just everybody at the school that supports it. It's just super cool to play high school esports, and I'm super grateful for the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on the desk with us, Riley. Once again, congratulations and good luck to you in the future.
Thanks, guys.
And that was Riley Kroll, who will take another title here down on PlayVS for that Shrewsbury High School team. And yeah, you can hear it from it's just absolutely great to have these players in this program, working together, succeeding together. And, I love getting that extra level of insight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's providing another platform, right? So there's no guarantee any of these guys, I don't know their sporting ability, but they'll be on any sports teams, right? So being able to give these guys the opportunity to come together and compete in a different medium that we haven't seen, like you were alluding to there, where both me and you, we would have loved to have had this a few years ago, and now these are guys, they've got it, and they're proving why it's a useful thing to have.
Yes, I'm having just as much fun, I would say, on the desk and just watching these events. There's always just such a sense of pride that these, young kids have and what they do. And that's really what it's about. It's about, representing your school well, having fun, doing it all. And if you can win the state title, well, that's pretty great too.
Yeah, absolutely. What was really awesome there as well, Riley shouting out his coach, just showing that this isn't just a team thing. This isn't just a get-together of players. This is an actual school program as well, where there's actual support from the figures behind the scenes, not just the students. Yes,
it is so great to see. And once again, congratulations to Shrewsbury High School. They will be your Massachusetts state final. This has been an excellent presentation of Rocket League. Coming up next, we have the Massachusetts League of Legends state final for you as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with that in just a moment. I'm Perino. That is my good friend Murphy over there on my right. It has been a pleasure to have you with us, and we will see you shortly.